Wreck My Podcast.
No fouls, no rules, no crying. This week, we're talking about NFL Blitz, the video game, because, you know, the playoffs are going on, but we're still pretty nerdy. And we talk about a bunch of other things on this week's episode of Wreck My Childhood.
Wreck My Podcast.
All right, so we're here to talk about, I was thinking, the NFL playoffs are right in the middle of it, right?
Yeah.
And the Super Bowl's right around the corner, and Krager's getting upset because the Chargers just got knocked out.
But did they just get knocked out?
They didn't.
They got
They
massacred.
didn't show up.
I did want to write you and say, is there ever been a mercy rule in the NFL? Because that's pretty bad.
At least like a high school game.
At least you didn't have to watch it at Saddle Ranch.
That's true.
I was at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
That's about
What's
a step
really
above.
funny is I was at Buffalo Wild Wings the previous week, and I was like, there are surprisingly a lot of Charger fans. I'm also like, Charger fans aren't the greatest people. But also, I expected like at least a little bit. Like there was no Chargers fans this weekend, and there was only like 2 Patriots fans. I was pretty
Charger
surprised.
fans knew.
Everyone, they were all hibernating.
I was surprised there wasn't more Patriots fan, but
Yeah.
there was one woman who was clapping very heftily, and it was
yeah.
just like,
Well,
really...
it would have been
How do you heftily clap?
hefty.
That's a nice. That was a nice way of describing the woman herself.
It would be really, really funny if there was just like someone there for the Jaguars and just cheering.
Just for no reason.
Yeah, for no reason. Just cheering emphatically.
Jordan, I know you don't realize this, but that actually perfectly describes a Jaguars fan.
Oh, okay. I subconsciously knew this.
Yeah.
So before we get too far into this, we're not talking about the NFL actually, because I thought, Cam, you brought up a good point. You said, let's do something NFL. And then I put on my geeky hat along with my geeky suspenders, and I sat in my geeky chair, and I thought
Is that all you were wearing?
Yeah, and I thought geeky thoughts. And I realized that there is a franchise that we could talk about football that's pretty geeky, and that's NFL.
NCAA.
That too. Actually, that's super nerdy if we got into college football
Right.
stuff. But we're going to talk about NFL Blitz, the video game, because that's what I do. But I'm going to introduce
Love it.
my guests real quick
Okay,
here, even
let's
though we're
do
going
it.
in. So if there's a flag on the play, it's usually on Cam Molidor.
That's
He's
true.
here
That's
with
me.
us. We
true.
call him Krager, but his real name is Ron Mexico. We have Krager. He once got a pass interference while sitting on the bench. Joe Cuba.
There you go.
And then I always play tight end, and no, I've never played football. I am your host, Jordan.
That is a classic joke.
Yeah, classic
At least
joke.
it wasn't Dirty Sanchez.
No, not Dirty
No.
Sanchez. But yeah,
Nice
before
one,
we get
Cam.
into it real quick, I want to plug something real fast. So we
After
have
the tight end
Yeah,
remark.
you're gonna
yeah,
plug
I'm
your
gonna
tight
plug
end.
my tight end real quick here. We have a new song that was given to us by Ben from Petrified Gumbo Music, so that's super cool of him. So thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thanks, Ben.
Sounds really good.
Dankeschön.
Dankeschön. And also go to our new website, wreckmypodcast.com, because we have an Amazon link on there, and I want money. So go ahead and use that Amazon link. You just go to wreckmypodcast.com, click the link. It'll take you right to Amazon, and whatever you buy, you don't pay anymore, but they give me a little bit of a percentage on it, and that helps us out with the podcast. And hopefully I'll switch this board out eventually and get a nice board.
Is that going to still happen with like Bezos giving half his money to his wife?
I imagine, because they're both like number 1 and number 2 most rich now. But
no,
like, he didn't even drop out of the rankings on
I
that.
think she'll become.
She's the richest woman in the world.
I thought it was the second richest.
Richest woman in the world with $70 billion.
And Beyonce's the second. Who is? I don't know. who the
Probably
second is.
Oprah.
And
Maybe
so
Oprah.
This reaffirms if I was a woman, I would be a gold digger, hands down.
Well, it's just amazing.
But she
that-
wasn't even a gold digger. She was
No.
married to him before like
Yeah.
Amazon
Oh, yeah.
even took off.
Yeah, I forgot. Like
He's just a dick.
like they released like the text messages. Like sorry, a little tangent, but like TMZ is like so not cool. The text messages they released was like, "I want to smell your feet," and, like stuff like that. Like he was saying,
Dude, that's so weird that someone just randomly texted that to the both of them.
It's
No.
kind of weird because someone randomly texts that to me all the time too.
Krager, stop texting TMZ.
Krager, what are you doing?
No, I'm talking about like it was Bezos text.
Hey, do you
to
guys
his
remember that
mistress.
time that Krager wants to smell everybody's feet? That's a real thing, and now it's
Yeah.
on the internet forever.
Yeah, I remember it. So go to that
Okay.
Amazon link so we can get Krager into a nice rehabilitation center for his smeat filling addiction.
You just said smeat filling.
Smeat filling.
That too.
I'm a fart smeller. I mean a smart feller.
How did we get here?
Oh, I don't know. So we're here to talk about NFL Blitz, the video game.
It's super great.
We just actually played a little bit. Joe and I played against each other. We went into double overtime to finally
we did.
win. And then you two played, and I think it came down to the last
Wire,
like 10
did.
seconds or something like
Krager
that.
went for 2 with 13
That's
seconds
right.
left on the
Yeah.
clock and got it to
Yeah.
win by 1 point.
Yeah, 1 point. It's insane. This game, and we forgot how quick this game is too. Like it's
You
just
need lightning fast
you get
reaction
no
time.
chance to think. Even when you're picking plays, or like you couldn't read all the plays
No.
if you in the 9 seconds it gives you. It's insane. So I think what we're going to start off with, though, before we talk about that, another tangent, our patron Cole had a question for us this
does
week.
he?
Yeah, he
Okay.
does. So he wants to know what our favorite childhood sports movie is, and he gave examples like Sandlot, The Big Green, Little Giants, Kicking and Screaming, and Bad News Bears.
Okay.
So what do you guys think?
Oh, I hands down remember the Titans.
Oh, okay,
Hands
that's a good
down.
one. Would you consider that a children's
I feel like we
sports
were a little
movie,
older
though?
at that point.
I feel like that wouldn't be a kid's sports movie. I feel like that's like a regular person's sports movie.
I mean, we're pretty.
Because like when I
young.
think of the Sandlot or the Big Green and stuff, I'm like, those are kids playing, like or Mighty Ducks or something, you know?
Right. But I see where Krager's coming from, because like if you're still a young man and that comes out, it's people to look up to, because they're still like, what are they? They're high school
Well, no, like
players.
when that came out a lot longer. Like I was pretty young. The one that sounds weird, but the one barometer I can tell how young I was is I remember that me and Hayden Panettiere are pretty similar in age, and she's super young in that movie.
She is.
Yeah,
really
she's
young in that
the
movie.
coach's daughter. right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how I remember. I was pretty young when that came out.
Yeah.
Mine was The Sandlot, hands down.
Sandlot?
Like
That's a good one.
When I went to my senior prom, I bought Sandlot edition black PF flyers so I could
Oh,
be
nice.
like Benny the Jet
I think
Rodriguez.
That is
I think
pretty
they
cool.
get rid of them every now and then, but they bring them back
Oh, yeah.
quite frequently
I had
to
a
be able
pair,
to get
and
those.
when I took Tina Lund to my senior prom, I was wearing my
Shout
Benny the Jet PF flyers.
Nice.
Yeah. Shout out to Tina Lund.
Benny and the Jets. What about you, Joe?
That's tough. I would say Sandlot is definitely a favorite. Mm-hmm. The movie The Little Giants was a favorite. Of
Yeah,
wow.
mine,
that's
too.
a good one. That's a good
That
one.
was,
So
that was a big favorite.
I'm gonna-
and
yeah.
I don't know. It like Airbud. No, Mighty Ducks actually.
Mighty
Airbud.
Ducks.
Mighty
Yeah,
Ducks was
Airbud.
good.
Mighty Ducks was great, but I'm going to tell you the two I watched the most when I was a kid, which is super weird. The Big Green, it's funny he mentioned that because I watched that movie so many times, and it's
watched it a
on
lot,
my
too.
list to revisit for this podcast. Well, I mean, yeah, you're like, don't do it.
It's perfect for the
Just
podcast.
yeah,
but
yeah.
It's a terrible.
But what's
movie.
funny, the reason that's funny is because I didn't play soccer when I was a kid. So,
Oh,
like,
you just-
why did I like the Big Green so much? I think I just liked the fat, chubby dude who was in the other movie.
I think you,
Sandlot
I think you
is
just thought it was
also
the
in The
Hulk.
Sandlot.
I did think it was the Hulk, the
Which
Big
one?
Green.
The redhead kid.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
okay.
kid. But then the other one I watched a bunch was Angels in the Outfield.
I was gonna say that was
Joseph
my
Gordon-Levitt.
that was my
Oh,
honorable
man.
mention.
Yeah, I loved.
Nothing's funnier as a kid than when the girl angel goes into that one guy and he gets boobs. Do you remember that?
No, I don't. Oh
You don't
my
remember
god,
that?
I do actually.
Yeah,
I do.
yeah, I remember
Why
as
of
a
all
kid.
the parts, this is what you remember.
No, it was
Yeah, did you
funny.
say nothing's funnier? Like
Nothing
as
on
a
the
child, nothing is funnier, or like ever?
Okay, quit reading too much into this.
You know what I did when I watched that movie so much? What I used to do is I would let it play and then I would pause it at a point where like someone would have an emotion going on, and then I would try and redo their facial features, and I would run into my mom's room and be like, "Mom, do I look upset?"
Wait,
Do
what?
this
Can we get that face again?
Yeah. So there's a scene in it where like the two kids, they have like a caretaker from the team, and he's really annoyed by him. He's got the long hair, and they're like hitting him with a bat, and he like got hit, and he looked all mad. So I paused it, and I saw the face, and I tried to replicate it. So I ran in to my mom's room. I'm like, "Do I look mad?"
I'm not sure if you're doing butthole face.
I don't
or
know
like
either.
duck face.
But that's what I did.
A duck's butthole.
Duck's butthole. Yeah.
beehole.
Anyway, so thanks Cole for asking us that question and letting us reminisce about it. That's great. So tell me, guys, what do you remember about the NFL Blitz franchise?
I remember playing with the Denver Broncos exclusively. I never played
Yes.
with any other team. Didn't care who I played. I only played with the Broncos.
I'm pretty sure I did the same.
Yeah.
I specifically remember having a lot of fun and never, ever punting.
Yeah.
I never played.
What?
Until just
Wait,
now.
did you not
Just
play
now.
NFL or Blitz the League? You never
I-
played that?
I
one was
never
That
played-
feels like a game you would play.
No, for some reason that's one game I never got into. I didn't get into football till like right before junior high, kind
Because
of.
there was nothing to be excited about for the Chargers before then.
Listen here.
And then LaDainian Tomlinson happened.
Listen here.
Yo, no, I'm just saying. That's nice. That's fine.
No, we're
LT
listening.
was good.
You said listen here.
Yeah, I don't have anything to
Now
say.
we're all really paying attention. You got nothing to
Ryan
say.
Leap is a nice man.
No, he's not. Didn't he like do meth and break into somebody's house?
He's nice.
It
now.
doesn't mean
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
nice. He's reformed.
So I guess this next question doesn't apply to Krieger. What version of the game did you play the most?
I only played this one, and it was the
So
same
this
one
one.
that was also at arcades.
Yeah,
So
well, here's the thing: is NFL Blitz on this stuff, like the arcade versions, had one come out every year for about 4 years, and then 2004 they skipped it until 2005 when they came out with Blitz the League. Which do you remember
is
playing that?
interesting.
Like our group used to
Blitz
play that
the
all
League
the time.
It's so much fun, but it's also when the NFL was like, okay, we no longer want to endorse this type of football video game.
Yeah.
And they no
And it got
longer
crazy.
they weren't NFL teams anymore. They were like all these made up teams. And everything just got amped in terms of
Well, it's
Well,
like
we'll talk about it more because I have a history of it, so we'll get into
the
what
closest
changed.
thing I ever played to that was I played it a couple times in the arcade, but I had, if you remember the PSP when that first came out.
Oh, I had a PSP.
I had NFL Street,
Yeah.
and that was like that. But
I
it was-
remember
it
it,
was
but
on
I never-
steroids.
yeah, I
PSC
never
stands for,
played.
right? He had a pretty small penis.
both of them. Yeah, Joe and I have no idea what a PSP is.
Well, we have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, that was back when I was like 8 though, so you know.
It was pretty
it was-
sweet penis.
Guys, it was cold out for like 4 years. So you can't blame us. So were you guys ever into like the 2K or Madden friend? Like, obviously, Krieger, you were. But
I've been pretty hardcore into it ever since I got an Xbox. Like
Yeah.
when the original Xbox came out, it's now borderline unplayable. But
because it's so hard.
no, there's basically.
That's what she
Referring
said.
Back to the PSP.
No, basically now, like if you try and play online, well, one, there's like just so many crazy things you can do with it. It's
Yeah.
kind of a little overwhelming at times, but also if you just play online, people don't care. Like I'm a football kind of purist. I like to play the game like different plays, different strategies. When you play online, they just pick one play and they run it like either audible for a run, audible for a pass, and have a running quarterback.
Okay.
So there's basically nothing you can
So it's
do.
just like any other game
and
where
they're
it's like
going-
they find a way to win and then they
yeah,
win.
and they're going
Yeah.
for it on like 4th and 35, like every time.
Yeah.
But like they're getting it.
That would be annoying. I never was into the Madden or 2K stuff because I don't like real simulator sports games.
Yeah, I played Madden a lot. I was super into it. And then I didn't buy a console for like a decade.
Yeah.
And like the first console I bought since my first Xbox 360 was the Switch I got like 2 months ago.
Yes, and that's the best purchase ever.
That's amazing.
That's so great. Joe,
Yeah.
did you ever play the 2K games and all that? Or
I played Madden briefly. I was never very good at it, so I didn't really play it. Didn't really play 2K unless it was basketball 2K. I played
Yeah.
that a lot.
Yeah,
but when
we've
it came
played
to
that a lot.
football games, I was never really good at them. So
yeah,
I
I never
really played them.
I never understood the strategy of stuff. I still don't. Sometimes I'm like, run the ball, just run the ball. Like,
Just
yeah,
throw it.
just throw it, just catch it. Why don't you just catch it? So yeah, I don't understand still. So I would be terrible to play a game based off the strategy of football. I would not do good at. So you guys, let's talk about the history of NFL Blitz here real quick.
Let's do it.
So NFL Blitz was a football-themed video game.
You don't
Ooh.
say.
Yeah.
I'll get in there.
Made by Midway. And you guys know what other fun stuff Midway
Oh,
made.
yeah. They've made a lot of
They
good
made
stuff.
Mortal Kombat. They did NBA Jams, which is pretty much how they got the licensing deal to do Blitz.
Were they not a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater?
No, I don't think Midway. Neversoft did.
Neversoft.
Yeah.
Did
never
Midway
saw
do the Cruising?
Cruising,
Oh,
yeah.
that was my first game
They
I got
did.
on N64.
So they were really into the arcade business back in the 90s. So in 1997, the game came out as an arcade game and then was ported to home consoles. I think
Okay.
the next year, in 98, it came out on home consoles. So from 1997 to 2005, Blitz had a licensing deal with the NFL. So it could use the real names of the teams and the players and everything. But from the get-go, the NFL was trying to pull out of that licensing deal. Like when they came to Midway, they said, hey, make like an NBA Jams version of NFL. But when they were in the room doing the motion capture and everything, they started doing pile drivers and wrestling moves because they were like wrestling fans. And like, this looks so much fun. We should do this. So without the NFL's knowledge, like the NFL never checked in. They're just like, have it ready by this date for us to test pretty much. They did all this crazy stuff with like illegal tackles and crazy over the top exaggerated things. So when the NFL showed up, they're like, yeah, we're gonna give you your licensing money back, or like we'll take back the thing, and we don't want it, because it was around the time too when like the concussion protocols were becoming big, where it's like people were really harping on the NFL for being too violent and everything.
That didn't really.
It was like late '90s that started being a thing where like where the moms against drunk driving and everything.
What a bunch of nerds!
What idiots! So the
Have
NFL.
a drink, Mom.
So the NFL from the get-go is trying to pull out of it, and every yearly iteration, they convinced them to kind of do a little bit less. So in the first iteration of the game, they had blood, and they did have like a lot more violence.
blood?
Yeah, they had blood that would like spurt when you would like hit them and stuff like that. And the NFL was like, not happening. So
Yeah, that happens really, but we don't want people to know that.
yeah, well, pretty much that's what they're saying. We're like, we don't want people to think this is a violent sport. And the guy was like, honestly,
Well,
it is a violent
But
sport.
see, that's always like the funniest part. Is like people are now so sorry, a little tangent, but they're in uproars now. Back in around that time, on like ESPN, they had like the hardest hit section, and like people would praise like people getting like decapitated.
Well, that's what the main guy on Midway, when he talked to the NFL, he's like, so you guys will sell licensed videos about the biggest hits and the biggest things like that, but you won't let us do a video game, which everyone knows is way over the top and like not even realistic looking. So he was kind of upset about that. But in 2005, the NFL pulled out. So
yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did. No baby NFLs there. So Midway did Blitz the
kind
league.
of a bastard child, though.
Oh my god.
Midway did a new version of it that Joe was talking about called Blitz the League, where it was like fake like arena team names like
made-up teams.
Los Angeles Nightmare and like Oklahoma City Cyclones and stuff like that. And then they incorporated a lot more violence. So they took that a Mortal Kombat like X-ray breaking thing and incorporated it. So when you would do a big tackle, you would see like their knee like snap in half, and then their like knee would be off to the side and stuff. But then you had the option, if they were like, oh, he's injured, what do you want to do? You had the option to either pull them out or juice them. And then you played a little mini game where there was a target, and you had to get the needle in the target to juice him to get him back in the game.
Are you freaking kidding?
They leaned into it hard. They leaned into it hard. And the like My Story version or whatever got super like, that's where the M rating came from, because it got really sexual. They made fun of Michael Vick so much. Like that's where they called like they had a character named Ron Mexico for his like whole venereal disease thing in Mexico and all that. And they just were making fun of him left and right. It was crazy. It was this game was insane. This game was insane. And then they came out with a sequel in 2008. And then in 2009, Midway dissolved, and EA Sports bought the rights to NFL Blitz, and they released a game in 2012 that was like kind of like a polished version of the one we just played on the N64, where it was over the top. Yeah, it was like a throwback. It's over the top. It's not as violent as the League was, or as like sexual or any of that stuff.
Man, the League was such a great game.
Yeah.
Speaking of like weird sexual video games, do you guys remember that game BMX XXX?
Yes,
Oh,
I do
yeah.
remember that.
And you could like unlock.
Absolutely.
You would unlock. I was like in like 8th grade.
Yeah.
And I would go to my friend's house and he had it because his mom didn't love him, and like he had it. And you
Or
would
maybe
like,
his mom loved him too much.
yeah. But like we like you would complete tasks and unlock like clips and videos of strippers dancing at the Spearmint Rhino.
Oh my gosh, I totally remember
Seriously?
that.
Like real life.
Yeah, like real.
They were
video
really
clips.
grainy, crappy WMV videos for like the time and everything. I totally remember that game.
But I remember like
have
going
no
like telling my
never
parents
even
like
heard of this.
I'm going to Brent's house.
Well, we
What
used
are you
to.
doing, bro? We're just gonna play video games.
I've heard of. I played that video game. I never got any of those clips.
Well,
'cause you weren't good at it.
we used to play. What was that one we used to play? Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball.
I was just about to say. I never played the beach volleyball. Dang it! I never played the beach volleyball, but yeah, like I saw clips. I'm like, this is like borderline like video game porn.
Well, it's funny because they had the boom mechanics down like perfect in those games. But like you go back now and you watch it, and I thought those graphics were so good. They're not that great, honestly. I think they came out with a new Dead or Alive recently. Like I thought I saw
Probably.
something on IGN about it being released like last
Are
year
there
or something.
still games like this being released?
Oh heck yeah! JRPG type stuff like those like sex simulator
yeah,
things.
that's a
Like
thing.
they're mostly all Japanese games now that are like that. Because
like if I wanted, I can like take a map of your face and put it on anybody, and then make that the porn star.
yeah.
That's a thing.
Well, we were just saying too. Like we were talking about.
Isn't like there was a huge thing like last year where they were like putting like similar looking porn stars to celebrities, and they were able to superimpose their faces, and it looked really realistic.
Well, I was just saying too, CES just happened, and they have booths that are like sex VR experience and stuff at CES. Like, there's no shame
is
anymore.
CES?
So I've heard,
Consumer Electronics Show. It's where they
I've-
show off all the new big electronic stuff. Every
I've
year.
heard that Pornhub has
TVs
a
and everything.
VR section.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
I've heard it.
Yeah. Just heard.
Yeah, just heard.
No
What
experience.
What-
VR model do you have?
Don't have one. I don't have one. I just heard.
He hasn't unlocked it yet. It's not a playable character.
Just the hold it really close to your face.
No, you just go like you put your hands over your eyes.
You're walking.
it's so close.
You're walking down the booth at CES, and so like, you ever wonder what it was like to have ball dangling in your face? No, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Booth isn't for you.
Yeah, you don't want to stay here.
I
So
was really into the Sears calendar, or catalog.
So let's see here. I think I spoke a lot about things that are okay. Anyway, we'll keep going here. The key differences between the early Blitz games and the more realistic
The more realistic flam. I prefer
flap,
synthetic.
flee,
I definitely prefer synthetic flamps to realistic.
I don't know.
flamps.
Realistic
Flu,
flamps. There's
fleet.
just something
I don't
special
know, but if you have a
about them.
synthetic
No,
flamp, you can take
honestly-
a synthetic florp and mash them together.
That's right. I didn't think about that.
Honestly,
They
they're
evolved.
not perky enough unless they're synthetic.
Floop, flamp, fleep, flop. Okay, so as I'm stumbling over my words over here, the key differences between the early Blitz games and more realistic franchises is that everything focused on a fast pace and aggression, as we saw, very fast pace. Although the base of the rules still applied, it was a lot more lenient on fouls, obviously.
Yeah,
You could tackle
PIs,
people,
everything.
no PIs, anything. Also, each
Guy
team...
punched your guy
Yeah,
and caught
yeah,
the
you
ball
could
for the
kick him.
interception.
But did you guys notice that each team only had 7 players on the field opposed to the regular
I
11?
did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The defense would drive me crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they moved it up to 8 in a later entry, and then they went all the way to full 11 like after that. So they kept it only this way for like a few years, and they kind of brought it up to the full 11. The positions really don't matter, obviously. Like I think we had a moment there where your Terrell Davis,
Terrell Davis
threw
like a-
40 yards perfectly. It was like,
Yeah,
yeah, this
yeah.
isn't happening.
It made
Which
no sense.
maybe I'll have thrown in those clips earlier in the thing. But quarters were only 2 minutes, and first downs were every 30 yards. So yeah, that was different. The one thing.
There weren't no running plays.
No, not really.
I
You
saw
can-
one, I
you
saw
can
one that
do-
set up the gut.
Yeah, there's no
I
real.
ran that play. It's still a
You
passing
can't.
play.
You can't. Yeah, you have to pass. The way to do a handoff is
You have to
you.
screen.
Yeah, well, you hike the ball, and then as they're close to you, you pass it to them real quick.
Just like a little shovel.
Just
pass.
shoot. Yeah, that's
But
how you do it.
But that person now becomes a quarterback, and you technically can throw again.
Technically, anyone you throw to behind the line of scrimmage
Into the
becomes a
quarterback.
quarterback in this game.
Music City Miracle, right?
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
So the one
was on a
thing that's
kickoff.
the one thing that's really really funny, and I remember the most about this game.
Yeah, Frank Wycheck threw it all the way across the sideline to what was his name? Something Dixon, Ken Dixon.
Oh, yeah.
And then he ran it back.
All right, then.
Someone's phone.
HQ.
So, HQ's on. Anyway,
What?
the two things I remember the most is like how impossibly these people move. Like they would be
Yeah.
running left, and then they would just jump right and tackle someone. Like it was
Yeah.
ridiculous. And then the other thing I remember is, and we were laughing about this, is in between quarters you'd have like the sexy cheerleader all by herself, super pixely except for the boobs.
Yeah.
They were like super. Everything else was square.
And they were so smooth.
Pixely, and then it was just like boobs were like shoop, and it's like wow, they put a lot of money into making spherical shapes in this
Did
game.
a lot. The money
It
went
was-
mostly into the boobs and the like DDTing somebody.
Yes, exactly. DDT and like the 1 or 2
It
lines
was
they
just
have.
just a magical time.
Every now and then, every now and then, I noticed when I was playing, like you would sack the quarterback, and then he would go be like, "Come on, man, you want to fight?" And I'm like, "What is this
what?
dialogue that we have going on here?" Yeah, it was
Did
so
not hear
dumb. Yeah. So as the games progressed, the NFL continued to make them take out a lot of the things that really made NFL Blitz kind of what it was. So in 2005, when they split ways, we have the new era, Blitz the League, which we were talking about, is where they kind of took the Mortal Kombat idea and put it into the NFL Blitz thing, or the Blitz thing here. I keep calling it NFL Blitz, but no longer NFL. Now that the NFL was gone, they didn't have to answer to anyone, so they brought that exaggerated violence and gameplay to an all new level that was amazing. You have to take a call? Yeah. How professional. So Midway released a second league game in 2008. EA bought the rights, and then they released the NFL Blitz in 2012, which was like a remake that was like an arcade-style football game to compare against the more realistic Madden franchise at the time. The whole time Midway had control of the title. It got great reception, and GameSpot called the N64 version the greatest football game ever made.
Wow.
So people loved this game. Now, let me tell you the game lineup here. NFL Blitz came out in 1997 for N64 and PlayStation, which is what we played.
Go on.
Then, now this is where it gets confusing because you know how they have 2K19, but it comes out in 2018?
Yeah.
This is what they did. NFL Blitz 99 came out in 1998. NFL Blitz 2000 came out in 1999. NFL Blitz 2001 came out in 2000. So it pretty much keeps doing that until it does NFL Blitz Special Edition, which came out in 2001. Now in 2001,
Update those rosters.
well, in 2001 they also started releasing it for the PlayStation 2, the Xbox, and the GameCube.
Do you remember that?
Yes, and that was they had 2 iterations of NFL Blitz on that. Then they released one in 2003 called NFL Blitz Pro. Then 2005 is when the league came out, and we were still on the PS2 Xbox era, but we were switching right at the time, so it got re-released a little bit later for PS3, Xbox 360. Then Blitz League 2 came out PS3, Xbox 360, and NFL Blitz 2012, the remake, was PS3, Xbox 360. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games.
Dude, that means that
like almost
there
every
might
year
be
for a
some
while.
of them that are backwards compatible for the Xbox
Could
One.
be. Yeah, could be. But yeah, there's 11 games. So that's a lot. So ultimately, it was over-the-top violence that you couldn't find in real sports, mixed with the cheeky bleeping of the dialogue and ease of use that brought Blitz to its success. Yeah, there was a lot of, like, as they got further on, they were getting real cheeky with their humor. So they would have someone, like, they would bleep out a lot of material and stuff and everything. It was pretty funny.
It was just good old-fashioned fun is what it was.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, who cares?
Yeah.
So, however, there was a lot of backlash when it came out because, like I said, it was around the same time as when the league was being ridiculed for its concussion protocols, and violence in video games was under a microscope. I think it was the same time, too, when someone went to Congress or something about video game violence and everything.
Oh, yeah. That
It was around
a big
that.
thing at
some
that time.
nerd.
Some nerd. Who? What? Do you know who it was?
after the after Columbine.
Yeah. So, can you guys guess what IGN gave this game in 1998?
34 out of 186.
IGN.
Was it out of 10?
So, you know the IGN system. It's out of 10. Yeah.
I'm gonna say 7.5.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it an 8.
Okay, so here's the thing. IGN is notorious for giving way too high reviews for everything.
Yeah, everything's like a 9.5.
It's a 9.1 they gave this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is funny because when we were watching, call back to the Bandersnatch episode, when they there's one ending in it where they give it a 5 out of 5 on, and some dude commented and was like, is that the IGN? Sounds like IGN got it. So that's pretty funny. So guys, I have one fun fact for you, and that's it, because it was really hard to find fun facts about these games.
Because the game's just fun.
Yeah, exactly. Like the whole thing is fun
The
and
entire
factual.
thing's the fun fact.
Fun fact: play it.
Play it fun, factual.
Yeah.
These things are factual. In the League 2.
And true.
And true. Yes. In the League 2, they make fun of Michael Vick's herpes, the New England Spygate stuff that was going on, and the Minnesota Vikings sex cruise. So all those things were referenced.
There was a.
Oh, you don't remember when the whole team of the Minnesota Vikings went on like some sex cruise thing and got in trouble for that?
Sounds
I did
amazing.
not know
It's
this.
definitely a thing.
That was like
sounds
2000,
incredible.
2003, 2004,
I think
something
it
like
was
that.
I mean, that
Yeah.
sounds terrible.
Yeah, so all these things were made fun of in that game, which is awesome. So, are you guys? We're talking. I feel. So here's the thing
talking
about this
playoffs?
podcast. I feel like I talk really, really fast. You guys feel like I talk really, really fast? I'm all over the place. I need to be more
I
focused.
don't
Yeah.
know what you're talking
I
about.
don't know.
Jordan.
I don't know, man.
We're
Bring
just a
it in.
slow, smooth jazz
I'm gonna
station.
say it's on theme because this game plays really, really fast.
It's really fast. I think
I
it's
need to
perfect.
focus more on slowing down.
Dude, really geeked up, dude.
I don't know, Jordan. I think
I
it'd be
was
great if you talked a
expecting
little
the
bit faster,
advert
because then I
for
think our
Ribbon.
people that are listening on the freeway that are stuck in traffic would be able to pay attention.
And then if they doubled even that, it would go, and I'd be speaking Japanese.
Yeah. That's
so-
exactly what Japanese is.
Yeah.
It's just really,
English
really
Yeah.
fast.
really fast.
Doubled English.
English. Okay, so we have the title here. Kreger is our reigning champion.
See what random sound we get. Yeah.
Yeah, the crowd is
The
cheering.
WWE universe. The Wreck My
All the
Podcast.
The
kids-
Wreck-
all the-
that's what it stands. The W is for the Wreck My
all the
Podcast
kids in the
universe.
crowd saying "yeet." I think
Yeet.
that's what they're doing.
Yeah, they
Here,
say
hit
that
it one more
sometimes.
time.
It's the wrecked champion.
This is
Yeah,
awesome.
this is
It's
awesome.
awesome.
Okay, this is awesome because we're gonna play a little bit of NFL trivia, which I think
Okay.
Kreger and Cam are probably a little bit.
That reminds me. Hold
Sorry, Joe.
on. I have something to say.
Did you just bring out a sock full of coins? Kreger, what's
Hold
your
on.
sock full of
Hold
coins?
on.
Krager, put your sack away.
The coin operator boy thinks he can.
Are you seriously doing
yeah,
like a
yeah.
gimmick right
Take
now?
two.
Wait, no, go. You gotta do it to the camera.
Okay.
Do it to the camera.
Okay.
This is
but
take
you won't be
two.
able to hear me.
But just face the camera and talking to the
Okay.
mic.
The coin operator boy thinks he can come take my title. But I gotta tell you something. I brought my coin purse. And I'm ready to wind him up and play around with him all freaking night.
Give me a mic. Give me a mic. I just want you to know that every time we touch, I'm going to break another bone in your body.
Dude, this is amazing.
All right, let's go.
I love the gimmicks right here.
I just had to
I like too that Krager went full like Hulk Hogan and NWO. Like that was amazing.
Macho Man Randy
Yeah,
Savage
Macho.
pulling out the cream.
It's the cream. I got the coins. Okay, guys. So we're gonna do. I think it's only 5 or 6 questions. So whoever wins this gets the championship for the time being. Chime in with your name.
Oh, why don't we chime in with a Blitz?
Oh, good. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, Blitz. All right. So number 1, how many years must a player be retired to be eligible for the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
Blitz.
Krager.
5.
5 years is correct. Krager's got 1, and the crowd's cheering for you right now.
Yeah, I can't turn it off.
Control your belt, Krager.
I think this one also is. Hold on. Why is it so loud?
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wrong.
number 2. Now this is a multiple choice. So if you
I
want to
have
wait,
one quick question.
Yeah.
Do we have to wait for you to finish?
Question.
Yeah,
well, my
yeah,
wife asked me the same question, and no, you don't. No, actually, you do have to
Okay,
wait for me to finish. So
this isn't the chromosome difference. Okay?
yeah, this is a different podcast, so you gotta wait. So this one has multiple choice. So if you want to wait, because I think this one's a little bit harder. So who holds the
Yeah, it is.
record for the most seasons played in the NFL? I'll give you the here. You can call in anytime you want now. John Carney, Darryl Green, George Blanda, Warren Moon.
Blitz.
Cam.
Warren Moon.
Nope.
Blitz.
Mm-hmm.
Green.
Nope.
It's Blanda.
It is George Blanda. Damn it. Krager has 2. I like your strategy, Joe. Just go multiple choice.
Well, no,
I'm
I was
going
originally
for it.
gonna be like, actually, it's Blanda, not Blonda. But you know.
Whatever. Blanda, Blonda, potato, mushroom.
Do you want my tomato?
If
So
Krager
isn't
walks
it-
away with my belt one more time, I'm
I
going to
know.
cry.
I know, right?
Got 2 right now.
So you guys, this is the next one. Which team has the most Super Bowl wins?
Blitz.
Yes.
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
That is correct.
That is true.
They have 6. Actually, and I think New England has the most times they've gone, though, but they have 5 wins
I
only.
believe the Cowboys are in
Maybe the
second
Cowboys
place.
are too, yeah.
They're in
The Cowboys and New England both have 5 wins. Steelers have 6, and then the 49ers have 5 as well. So those are like the top 4 teams, which is funny to me. I didn't know the 49ers
And how many
had
the
that many
Chargers have?
wins. They've been once.
Hey, we lost to the 49ers.
There you go. All right.
Okay.
So who won MVP in last year's Super Bowl?
Krager.
Yes.
Blitz.
Yeah.
Nick Foles.
It is Nick
Yeah.
Foles, the quarterback of the Eagles.
Big
The-
Dick
the
Nick.
I almost said the Feagles. Those Feagles.
The fecal matter?
Those fecal matters.
Big Dick Nick.
So I'll give you multiple choice on this too if you want. The state that has produced more football Hall of Famers than any other.
Blitz.
Yes.
California.
Nope.
Blitz.
Damn.
Texas.
Nope.
Blitz.
Yep.
Alabama.
No.
I
Okay.
like how we didn't even wait for the multiple choice.
I know. I'll give you multiple choice here.
Okay.
Except you said 2 of them. California, Pennsylvania, Ohio,
Blitz.
Texas.
Blitz.
Ohio.
It is not Ohio.
Blitz.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Well, Cam said Blitz. Sorry, it is Pennsylvania. So you have 1. No, you have 2.
He has 3.
3. And this is the last question then, which means you can cock block. Joe can cock block Cam's win.
Oh, you can
and
Jill
Cam-
Stein me.
Yeah, and I don't know what we're gonna do for
You
overtime.
can Chargers
on this.
us.
All right. So who is the league's leading rusher of all time with 18,000? Mm-hmm.
Emmett Smith.
It is Emmitt Smith.
He didn't finish. You didn't
He
finish the
said-
question.
I didn't say I had to finish.
Remember
Remember the
that
joke?
Was the chromosome difference.
Throwing a flag.
Throw the flag.
Throw the flag.
Cam, remember if a foul's called, it's normal. If a flag is thrown, it's normally on you.
If we
Yeah.
can go to replay review.
We can. We can.
So that's Krager. You won the title.
Blitz. It's Emmett Smith.
Oh yeah, brother! Again, he walks away with the title.
Oh, it was a terrible.
That was a bad.
That
woo.
was a bad one. I'm sorry.
that was no.
No, it's more.
Krager's
No,
was
it's
like old.
Yeah,
Ric
yeah.
Flair.
I was
dead.
going for the old like raspberry.
So instead of doing the Ric Flair woo that he did for 40 years, you want to do the Ric Flair woo he did for 1.
exactly.
Is that his
unique.
dialysis woo?
Dialysis.
So yeah, that's NFL Blitz. That was a lot of fun.
Cam, every time we touch.
Every
this
time we
feeling.
touch and get that feeling. So congratulations, Krager, you get it
Two-time
again.
champion.
Maybe this weekend we'll do an NFL Blitz tournament for the title. We'll see how that works out, and then do it at. That coin Okay, so for people that are unaware because they don't listen to every episode of our podcast, so we started this out with the title a few weeks back, and Cam won it, and he decided that his entrance music. He won it. It was questions about.
It was 5 questions of Star Wars and 5 questions of wrestling. And I'm not very versed in either.
So Cam won it, and he wanted.
I remember listening to that, and the wrestling questions were very easy.
Yeah, he wanted his entrance music to be coin-operated doll or boy by the
coin-operated
Dresden
boy.
Dolls.
Yeah.
And so that's his entrance music. And so Krager won it a week later then, and his entrance music is Every Time We Touch. So Krager took it upon himself to make a character and bring a sack of coins and do a character that he's playing
jingle them at me.
Yeah, and jingle it, and he's fighting the coin-operated boy, and then Cam say, "Oh, it's just so good. This is quality television right here. We need to come up with our own wrestling promotion. This is amazing. This is so good. Okay, so that's fun. So anyone who's made it this far, I feel like, is it just me, or I feel like this is the most haphazard podcast I've ever done. I feel like I've been babbling about nothing for the past 35 minutes.
It's about NFL Blitz.
There you go.
Haphazard.
Yes, haphazard.
that's
So
definitely
let me plug it up here because I love tight ends. We are on Instagram.
Nice callback.
And butt plugs.
And butt plug. I'm gonna butt plug it up right now. We are on Instagram and Twitter at Wreck My Podcast, or you can shoot us.
That was one of the anal beats popping out.
And in case you don't know, we are joined by Mickey Mouse.
Oh boy, it's all your fault, Pluto, huh? Go shoot us an email at wreckmypodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, dude, I totally appreciate that, man. I think that if we have regular listeners, they'll be really excited to meet Rod's back. Meet Rod's been here the whole time. I'm sad that no one wanted to play NFL Blitz with me. And we're going to do a tag team title between the coin-operated boy and me, Meat Rod. It's versus the
meat-operated boy.
And the meat-operated boy. I'm going to eat some steakums with Frylock later.
I give up. I can't do that.
and then also it's gonna be Krager and Coach Steve. I don't know though. It's my lady dudes. It's gonna be good.
So I need to apologize to our listeners because this end part right here has just been peaking the whole time because we're like yelling into the microphone.
Yeah, my mouth's like right on it.
Yeah, it's
Sorry,
so
I don't
good.
control my voice. I'm alone like all the time.
Okay, so yeah, Instagram and
What are
Twitter.
you going to do?
We have an email. We have an email. We're on major podcasting apps. We're on YouTube. Rate, review, subscribe. We have a Patreon. I want to thank our patrons Ryan and Cole for giving us some Patreon money. They're great. Thank you. If you want to give us some money and get some rewards, go do the patreon.com/wreckmypodcast. If you don't want to give us money out of your pocket, don't worry, you can still help us out. You can go to wreckmypodcast.com, hit the Amazon link, and anything you purchase will give us a little bit of a kickback. It's a great incentive. You pay nothing more, we make something back. I need to come up with a fancy little jingle for that. You pay nothing more, we make something back.
That's good.
Thank you. Thank you to Ben from Petrified Gumbo Music for the amazing song he's made for this podcast as well as our other podcast, the Stoked on This podcast.
Yeah, buddy.
Hit him up if you need some compositions of your own. He has a weird name, but amazing music. So that's good. We have main episodes come out Wednesday. Can I say something real quick? So we're filming this way later than normal. We normally film over the weekend and then it comes out on Wednesday, but we're filming Tuesday night. So this is going to come out
Basically like a South Park episode that we're
pretty much.
making.
Yeah. So this is going to come out later on Wednesday than we normally do, but
fair.
I want to explain why we didn't do it over the weekend because this would only happen to me. We didn't do it because I couldn't talk because I had a canker sore on the side of my tongue that made it impossible and painful for me to speak. Who else gets stupid junk like that?
What's really funny is I half read your text message at first, so I'm all like, oh, we haven't done it because I have a canker sore, and I stopped reading. I'm all like, that is the most Jordan excuse
Seriously, though,
ever. But then I'm like, oh, it's on its tongue.
I had the whole script written and ready to go, and I was hoping to be better by sometime this weekend. But I'm like, are you kidding me? I got a giant ulcer in my mouth ulcer that's making it so I can't do it. So yeah,
We don't have the heart to tell him it's herpes.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry.
But
I
at least I got to go to Cowboy Brunch.
Yeah,
on
you did get to go to
Sunday,
Cowboy Brunch. Oh, we're gonna put in that clip now.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Cam from Wreck My Podcast. I just had bottomless mimosas at Saddle Ranch on purpose. I went there. And then I got tricked into riding the bull. I did it. It was pretty sexy. Bye, I love you.
And this is why you don't go to Saddle Ranch.
Yes,
don't do it.
exactly. Don't go to Saddle Ranch. Don't do it, people.
Saddle Ranch is like Denny's. You don't go there on purpose. You end up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
Okay, so anyway, main episodes come out Wednesday. Stoked on this comes out Monday, except for this week because of my stupid canker sore. But we will have one on Friday. It's coming out like at a weird time, so check back. Yeah, so we're gonna do that real quick after this.
Stoked on this
and
Friday
thank you
edition.
guys to my guests for coming and playing some video games, for talking and listening to me just be completely crazy right now. I'm sober and I'm talking like I'm on crack or something.
What did you say? Flam?
Flam, flam, flam.
Because you
What do you want? What do you want for dessert? Flam.
I'll have one flam, please.
Is there any strawberry sauce on your flam?
Can I have some strawberry sauce on my flam?
People are gonna think this is a reference to a thing. It's not. There's not.
Nope,
It's not. It's not a thing.
Finally, thank you to our listeners. If you've made it this far, let me know.
Yeah.
I will send
Yeah.
you something, something cool.
It'll be a
Oh,
signed
no, I-
photo of Krager and I shirtless with him with the title, and we'll sign it both.
Yeah,
I
there
was
you go.
gonna say I messed up. I shouldn't have tried to wash my shirt that you stained.
Oh, that I taco.
Can we talk about that?
Preface that. Hang on. I didn't. Everyone's gonna think of a different kind of stain.
Yeah.
I punched.
Well, you did
his
taco
food.
punch
I
him.
did taco punch.
Yeah.
He punched
And
my
you left the
taco.
stain.
Literally, and that's not a euphemism. He literally punched you right in the
Go
taco.
see the Wreck My Podcast
Yeah.
Instagram, and you can see
There's a picture
The after
there.
effect.
The after. Oh, that was so funny. That was so
Yes,
awesome.
three cycles of the washer and those stains and not coming out.
You need to use some.
I used some extra strength.
Oh,
like,
okay.
and rubbed it.
This ain't no
really-
home ec podcast.
Yeah,
We're leaving
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Bye.
Bye, bye,
Prison
love you.
wallet.
Bye, I love you.
Don't sign up with prison wallet.
Try the flam.
Why prison?
Because the corn pits.
This. We really need to say bye now. Okay, bye.
Bye, I love you.
I kind of like you.
Wreck My Podcast. Wreck My Podcast.
Always do and hope they did it. Where now I'm actually picking plays out and
Yeah, you're like,
figuring out what to do.
oh my god, there were 3 guys there and he didn't pick it up. Hashtag Cameron getting angry about a video.
Oh man, you're gonna actually go for it? Throw it! I told you, your lineman can throw the ball just as good as your quarterback. Happened there? I didn't even know what to do. Bailey got scared from the yelling.
Does the kick ever not
Go
go?
for the tie. Seriously? Oh my god! Wow. We'll still never know what happens in a tie.
7 seconds.
You have enough to get down the field and try a 3-pointer if you want. You gotta make it quick though. Make that quicker. Okay.
Oh,
I think
damn.
you can go 3 from here. You can. Oh man.
I'm not gonna kick a field goal from that far.
But it's a fake game.
I was surprised you did
I
that.
thought I would have to get at least 1 second left. That was all.
No.
Hey, when was the last time you saw that happen?
Ha!
12 times a season, okay? Actually, 13. Because playoffs.
Bill Belichick went like that. There you go.
Oh my god, I have to show you, Jordan. This might be funny. Something to put in your podcast somewhere. Someone found a picture of Bill Belichick back when he was like a young coach.
Yeah.
On the Giants.
Oh my god.
But look what someone did.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's so funny. Send that to me. That will be going in the podcast. Bill Belichick. What's that guy? What's Javier Bardem's name in No Country for Old Men? I can't remember either. Here, everyone,
Old
give me
Man.
a quick, real quick. Give me a quick, real quick.
Cool whip.
Quick.
Remember
quick
that one's a little bit
quo.
louder, so just be careful with speaking. Yeah, you're good as long as you don't yell into it.
Okay.
Okay,
Quick, real quick. Quick, real quick. Quick, real quick. Quick, real quick.
perfect. All right, Joe, give me something.
Quick, real quick. Quick, real quick. Quick, real quick.
Quick, quick, quick.
Quickle, quickle, quick.
Quick, quick.
Quick.
Give me some quickle, quick.
Oh, okay. So, new rule 2: no tapping the table because it's really bad with the mics, and don't drop the phones on the table because then it goes bonk.
Deal.
And it sounds really terrible.
Deal.
I'm gonna
fingers
throw.
off?
I'm gonna throw this in. I'm gonna throw this in B-roll at the very, very end so people can hear it. Yeah, that's so annoying. Yeah. Oh, we just killed someone's eardrums.
What about my beanie?
Actually, you can hear it. It went dunk. Yeah, it went dunk.
What about this?
Yeah, you can hear all of it. It's so loud. Now, here's the thing. I have these headphones up really, really loud, so maybe that's why.
I don't know. I listened to it in my car when we were doing the Smash one when you first mentioned Krager touching.
And you
the
could
thing.
hear it?
I could hear like in my car. It was just like.
Yeah. Okay, so
Oh, my hand's down here.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that.
there you go. So you're not tempted.
Just up here.
Yeah, the whole time. I'd be so surprised if you could do that the
I
whole
don't
time.
have good shoulders.
Okay, so let's get to this.